Welcome to the Garden Shop How to Garden video. In this video we want to show you the process involved in tinning out your lettuce seeds that you've grown indoors and how to then continue your sowing with a successional sowing of your lettuce, which is 2 weeks after your first sowing. So we'll just show you the process now. You can see here in front of us we have a plug tray, an 84 cell plug tray, and this second row here is a row of lettuce that we'd sown 2 weeks ago. Okay, so just the second row here. So every 2 weeks really it is recommended that you will sow a new batch of lettuce seeds, and this allows for what's called successional sowing, meaning that you will have a continued crop throughout the summer months. Another reason why, well, the main reason why we do the successional sowing is because lettuce is very susceptible to bolting. Therefore, your crop can quickly go from having a nice set of leaves to producing a flower and losing any vigor and foliage. So therefore we continue to sow our seedlings continually over the summer months to just break that cycle and give us a continual harvest. So the first thing I want to do now is show you the process involved in tinning out your seedlings. So we just have two examples here, and I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do now. If you can just see here in this second plug here, we have two seedlings growing next to each other. Okay, now when you're tinning out, what you want to do is just select the weaker of the two seedlings, which will be the lower one here, and just simply pull it up out of the soil. Now I've just pulled it up without any real regard for the seedling itself. I grabbed it by the stem and yanked it out of the ground. What I'm going to do now with this seedling is simply just dispose of it, and what you're left with then is one seedling per cell, and that's really what you want, because these seedlings are going to grow on to about 10 centimeters in height, and they need the space and soil just to grow and develop. And what you want is really just one plant per plug, and these plugs will then be transplanted on either directly out into the garden or into larger 9 centimeter pots where they can grow and develop. So again, I'll just show you the process. We have a second plug here that has two seedlings growing in it, and I'm simply going to select the weaker of the two and just pull it out. Now in this case I'll just show you if I can hold it by the foliage and just pull it out slowly. In fact, I just broke the leaf there, but again it's just a case of pulling it quite gently. So you can see the root system on this seedling here. It's fairly long. Okay, now ideally in ways you could transplant that seedling on, effectively cause most damage to it there, but really all we're trying to do here is show you the process in tinning out. And with tinning out, the seedlings that you pull out, you dispose of. Alternatively, the process of pricking out is whereby you more carefully lift your seedlings from the soil to be transplanted onwards. So that was it really. That was the process of tinning out your lettuce seedlings. And now I just want to show you what you would do next. As I said, these were sown 2 weeks ago, and therefore it's now time to sow our second row of lettuce seeds. So we have a row here that I'm going to fill with our lettuce seeds, so I'm just going to quickly give it a quick soaking in. Give it a little soaking in like that before sowing. So we fill this plug tray with general potting compost. Then I'm just going to take our lettuce seeds. In this case we're using all year round, so really there's a lettuce for every season. There's winter varieties of lettuce that you should sow towards the end of summer. Your winter varieties are hardy, but they would require covering over with a garden clutch. There are also summer varieties which you would sow early spring to mid-summer. So really the only time of year that you might struggle to have lettuce is actually the middle of summer, when the weather can in fact be too hot. Lettuce require a little bit of shade, and they require being kept relatively moist, otherwise they're prone to bolting. So I'm going to sow our row here now with seeds, and again you want to put 2 or 3 seedlings per plug. So it's quite difficult when you have very small seeds, but you want to just space them in a little triangle, 1 plant per cell, or maybe 3 seeds per cell. So I'll just continue this process all the way along. So I've used general potting compost here, and I've soaked it with water, and then again, I will continue this process every 2 weeks now up until midsummer, so I continue to have a nice supply of lettuce throughout the summer months. Once you have your seeds sown, you then just want to cover them lightly with compost, and again just give it a very light pressing in. So I'm just going to scatter a little bit of compost, just break it up nice and crumbly over the surface, and then just break it up there and then just press it in. If you have any clumps, just give them a little break up with your fingers, press that in, and make sure your seeds are covered. And then in 2 weeks time, they should be the height of our second row here. These seedlings will be thinned out, and then we'll sow a third row of our lettuces. Therefore you're getting your staggered sowing pattern, or your successional sowing. So that's it really. Once our seedlings are large enough for transplanting outdoors, we'll shoot you another video where you can see the process involved in how to transplant your cabbage seedlings or your lettuce seedlings out into the vegetable garden. But in this video, we just wanted to show you the process involved in how to thin and how to successional sow your lettuce seeds from thegardenshop.ie.